Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video, I'm gonna hate editing it, but it's better for me to edit it in than actually hold up every book. So this is all the thrillers I've read. I have them written down with their star rating, except for like the first couple of them. But I'm only gonna tell you like the synopsis of the ones that I remember, and if I remember the synopsis, it's because I enjoyed the book. So these are all books that you could read during this time because they're all either like thriller, mystery, or spooky. So they're all perfect for this time. I did not include graphic novels or anything like that, or like mangas. It's just solely like novels. So we have first Vampires of Enote. I have this one because I got it from Book of the Month. I thought I was gonna like it, but I think I gave it 2 stars. I was not into it. I was like, where's the vampire aspect? Like, give me something more. Like, I'm not getting what I want. So I didn't love it. Then we have The Cousins. I don't even remember what happened in that book. Like, I read it and like, out of mind, out of sight. Like, out of sight, out of mind. Out of sight, out of mind. Like, I couldn't tell you what it was about. Then we have The Lost Girl. I know it's an R.L. Stine book. It's that she dies and then she goes to this like place that's not like heaven, but it's like a in between, and I think there she meets her mom or her grandma. I don't know, it was weird. I didn't love it. I gave it 2 stars. We have The House Across the Lake, and I think I gave it 3 stars. So it's about a murder that happens and you can see it, I guess, from the house across the lake and stuff like that. It is from Riley Sager. I did enjoy it, but it's not one of my favorite Riley Sager books. Then we have The Last Time I Lied, also by Riley Sager. That one I don't remember too well what it was because now it's getting mixed in my mind with like Final Girls, so I can't remember what The Last Time I Lied was about, but I think these were all 3 stars. Then I read Final Girls, also by Riley Sager. It was 3 stars, and it's about the girls who have survived like killings. Like, if there was like a serial murderer, like it was a murder when they were in like vacation and she was the only one that survived. So it's about the trauma and like the survivor's guilt and like having to deal with like always being scared of like it's just gonna happen again. So it was a pretty good book. Let me scoot to the side so I could put them here. Then we have White Horse. I think I gave that a 1 star. I honestly could not remember what it was about. I also got it from Book of the Month, and I don't know. The Family Game is also from Book of the Month. I gave it 2 stars. I think it's like this girl, she's dating a guy from this like rich family, and they go and they want to play like a hide and seek game, and it's just like weird. Like, it's one of those like movies that you've seen on TV. So I think like if it was a movie, I think it would have translated better than in the book, but the book wasn't all that, not for me. Then we have The Book of Cold Cases, which I gave it 3 stars. This is when I started writing the star ratings. It's also from Book of the Month. I enjoyed it. It talked about like different like cold cases, so obviously they're all fake cold cases, but like it wasn't a bad book. It was a good audiobook to listen to. Then we have Horror Store by Grady Hendrix, I think it is. It was okay. What I hate about Grady Hendrix books is that at first they start very scary and very atmospheric, but then they end in like a way that's so like dumb, at least for me. Like, I was obsessed in the first third of the book of My Best Friend's Exorcism. I was like, this is one of the best horror books ever. And then I just started going downhill, and the ending, I was like, why? Like, I'm gonna give a little spoiler. Like, I'm gonna put my hand down when the spoiler's down. Like, at the end of the book, like, they do the exorcism with Madonna songs. Like, that's not scary. What are you gonna do the exorcism to? Like, when you call my name, it's like a little prayer. Like, no. Why? Anyway, I digress. Then we have A Diary of Blood, which is more of like a vampire book. It's kind of like Dracula's like wives kind of thing, which was okay. I gave it 3 stars. Then we have The Hacienda. I also gave it 3 stars. I don't remember too much about it, honestly. Like, Vampires of Enote and The Hacienda kind of get mixed up in my head quite a lot, so I couldn't tell you. Then we have The Woman in the Window. I gave it 3 stars. I honestly don't even remember what it's about, but I think there's a movie. So if you don't want to read the book, I think there's a movie on Netflix, so watch the movie. It's probably better. Then we have Reckless Girls. I gave it 3 stars. I think it was something about like they went on vacation and they got on this boat with some strangers and then stuff started happening. We have 56 Days. I gave it 3 stars. This was about like I think a murder or something like that happened during COVID in a motel. So, not in a motel, in the apartment building. I don't remember. But I just remember it was during COVID. Like the book had to do with COVID. So, then we have The Sundown Motel. I gave it 3 stars. It was a little bit spooky in some parts, like ghosty. Like little things would happen. They're like, oh my god, it's a ghost. But it wasn't like too scary. Like there were some atmospheric parts, but it wasn't too like, oh my god, you're in it. Then we have The Institute by Stephen King. That one is about like these kids that live in an institute and they're trying to like escape and stuff. I don't remember too well. It's a chunky book, but I just remember I gave it 3 stars because it was enjoyable, but it was nothing like, oh my god, life-changing. And that's the only Stephen King book I've ever read, and I wasn't like, oh my god, I don't see the hype. But I know people prefer his like horror and stuff, so we might do that. Then we have Not a Happy Family. I gave it 2 stars. I don't even remember what that one was about. We have The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I also gave it 2 stars. That one's also by Grady Hendrix, and like I said, she starts off strong and then like at the end it just feels like a joke, like a parody. So if you like that, like a parody of a horror story, and that's for you. But for me, like I want like the actual horror. Then we have Home Before Dark, which is by Riley Sager. I think I gave it 5 stars. It was very atmospheric, very scary. I would listen to the audiobook at night and I was spooked. I loved it. It's about this like house that's haunted. I think there was murders that went on there and stuff. It was a very good book. Into the Water, I gave it a 1 star. I couldn't even tell you what it was about, honestly. I couldn't. Then we have The Death of Miss Westaway, which is a 4 star. I think it has to do with like this nanny going into this house and like these murders happening and then like a plot twist. Like it was good. It was 4 stars. Then we have Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I read this so long ago, I don't remember what it was about, but I gave it 3 stars. But I know that's a very beloved Riley Sager book, so I would try it out and see if I like it, you know what I mean? Then we have A Stranger in the House. I gave it 3 stars. I honestly don't remember what it was. The Wife Between Us, I gave it 4 stars. I also don't remember what it was. My Best Friend's Exorcism, like I said, I gave it 3 stars. When I first started it, like reading the first third of the book, I was like, this is a 5-star book. This is the best horror book I've ever read. And then it wasn't. Then Grady Hendrix it. That was my first book that I read of hers. I've read 3 of them. I've tried to give her a chance. It just, no. Oh, I skipped The Turn of the Key. I gave it 4 stars. I don't remember what it was about. I vividly remember the picture. It's like a keyhole for the book, but I don't remember what it was about. But I obviously liked it. Then Mexican Gothic, I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the way they would describe things that were happening like in the house, like the wallpaper and all that stuff. It felt very like you were there. So I really enjoyed Mexican Gothic. Then we have The Haunting of Hill House. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the book. But the book, I feel like it focuses less on like the haunting of the house and more of the haunting in her mind kind of thing, which is good too, but I wanted like that haunted house feeling. The show is scarier, so if you want something scarier, I would read the show. If you want something more psychological, I would read the book. Not read the show, watch the show. I would read the book. And then we have Always Lived in the Castle. I gave it 2 stars. It was kind of boring for me. Some people really like it, but for me it was just so slow paced and kind of boring and like it was whatever. Then we have Watching You. I gave it 3 stars. Honestly, I don't remember what the cover looks like. I'm trying to see if I see it in one of my thriller shelves, but I don't see it. Maybe I got rid of it. Then we have sorry, my allergies. Then we have Dracula. I gave it 3 stars. I enjoyed the book. It has the spooky ambiance or whatever, but at the same time it's very much like very like sexualized, like him with his concubines, his wives and whatever. So it was okay. Then we have The Turn of the Screw. I gave it 3 stars, which they did The Haunting of Bly Manor based on this book. Like I said, I enjoyed it, but like I feel like it's hard to find a book that like really scares you. So it was a good book, but I wasn't like spooked, if that makes sense. Then we have Sharp Objects. I think it's by Gillian Flynn or whatever. I gave it 2 stars. It was just okay. I don't even remember what it was about. The Couple Next Door, I gave it 4 stars. I think it was about a child that goes missing and they think that they murdered, like the neighbors murdered the child or whatever, something like that. And then Good as Gone, I gave it 4 stars. These 2 books were from Book of the Month. I gave it 4 stars, and it's about this girl who disappears and then she comes back years later and you're like, is this really her? Is it not? Like, was she just like all the trauma turned her this way, or is it really not her? And then we have Party Games, which is by R.L. Stine. I gave it 2 stars. It was not a good book. I think R.L. Stine was better for like Goosebumps when I was little, rather than like these books. I've also read Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. That's her name, right? I can't even find the books. I think it is by Gillian Flynn. Yes, Gillian Flynn. And I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It was good. The movie was also good, but it wasn't like... I think it was more life-changing when I read it, because that was like one of my first thrillers, so I was like, oh my god. But I think now I would have been like maybe a 3 stars, but I enjoyed it. So she is this woman who disappears and they think it's the husband that like murdered her, and he's like, no, it wasn't me. But you know, I'm not gonna say the plot twist. This is what sucks about like horror and thriller and mysteries, just like you can't say too much because then you're ruining it for someone else. It's just like they need to discover it themselves. So I'm gonna have the pictures, they're all gonna pop up here. I know I'm gonna hate myself when I'm editing this, but that's okay. That's an editing me problem, because right now if I pulled out of the books I would take forever showing you guys, and the mess on the shelves would be way worse. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have some idea of like thrillers and mystery and like horror books you can read. Let me know if you've read any of these, and let me know your thoughts on them, and let me know other like thriller, like horror books. If you have any horror books that are like actually scary, please leave them in the comments below. I need them. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.